called Sahara, the Untold Story of Subrata Roy. When I wrote the book, and this is first time in India, probably one of the rarest of rare cases in the world, before the book was published, I was slapped with a 200 crore case against me. And that too had nothing to do with Kolkata High Court. So
How much did you pay actually?
no, I did not pay anything. I fought it in High Court, then I moved to Supreme Court, and morally I won because they raised a white flag and there was an out-of-court settlement. So I went to Tihar jail and said hello to Subrata Roy, and both of us signed the books and every page, gave it to Supreme Court, etc., etc. But that's a separate story. So to cut a long story short, all those 6 books they have done well, they're very serious stuff. So I thought, why not explore the psychology of people who handle our money, meaning our money, your money, how they are different from others, what they drink, how they dance, everything put together. So that's how the genesis of the roller coaster.
तो सच्ची में रोलर कोस्टर जर्नी है। यहाँ कोई बैंकर्स हैं क्या बैंक क्या बात है? कौन से बैंक में हो बेटा? बैंक ऑफ इंडिया। क्या पोस्ट में हो? अच्छा। तो हाँ, और कोई जर्नलिस्ट भी है क्या यहाँ पे? नहीं कोई बात। जर्नलिस्ट हो? Psychologist. क्या बात है? So we have a banker and we have a psychologist here. ये जो कहानी बताई इन्होंने बैंकर की, मुझे बैंकर कम और ये भयंकर स्टोरी ज्यादा लगी। तिहाड़ जेल में आपकी एंट्री सर, क्या बात है, आप सेलिब्रिटी हैं सर। ये मैं अभी एक रैंडम पेज खोला, हु इज बिगर द बैंक और द बैंकर, ये बड़े ही इंटरेस्टिंग लगा मुझे, और इसमें कुछ चंदा कोचर की कहानी है। वुड यू लाइक टू कमेंट ऑन दिस सर? कुछ क्या कहानी है इसकी, एंड हाउ डू यू गेट प्रिवी टू दिस स्टोरीज? यू वॉक इनसाइड देयर होम्स, या आप कैमरा लेके जाते हो, या वो छोटा जासूस जैसे ऐसे कैसे क्या करते हैं आप सब?
It's a very right question, very interesting question. A lot of people ask me the same thing, and literally I like most of them, they are familiar with my house. They come. But they make fun of me because I have a dog at home, a pet dog, and my nameplate also displays his name. So probably nobody, no family ever puts dog's name on their nameplate. So I have done that because I call him my Chota Beta. So anyway, so they come to my house, we go to their house. So the key thing is this: like banking is all about trust. Writing on banking or finance also all about trust. You will not open up your heart unless you trust people. So the point is, on a very serious note, I cannot trade information. I cannot just take your story and tell somebody else, etc., etc., etc. So it's over a period of time you build your trust, and that's how all the doors open up. And how you build your trust, how do you get into this? That is very interesting. And after that, I'll come to Chanda Kolas, which this gentleman is from psychology, you know that. So everybody has some soft corner and all. So in some sense, journalist, be it a banking journalist or economic journalist or some other journalist, we need to always try to figure out what is your weak point. Weak point meaning not to blackmail you, but what is the soft thing to come closer to you. Now it could be like somebody's son is a student in Oxford and he takes enormous pride in it. If I am a journalist, I get to know that one way of starting conversation with him about the education system in India, how bad it is and all, and then coming and how wonderful, and then how Oxford, and then he will say, my son, oh, your son is here, etc. So then we create a way to do that. So basically, creating trust. One very funny story I must tell you, how we created trust and all. So this is about one bank chairman. And this bank was playing a very critical role in early this century. All of you, those who are familiar with Indian corporate scenario, those days, now this company almost, on the verge of extinction. SR and Reliance used to fight with each other for everything. So this bank was a common for both the bankers. And I was a cub reporter. So I was very curious to understand, to know things and all, but the CEO was such, never knew. So I will almost every week I would be sitting outside his office and all, but So one fine evening, he took some pity on me. This poor fellow has been sitting outside my office every day. What is there? So he said, and he said, you are Bengali. I said, yeah. You like sweets, etc. I said, yes. He said, मेरा घर पे कुछ आए sweets है. चलो आ जाओ मेरे साथ घर पे आ जाओ. Because his office was very close to the bank itself. So he picked me up and he went to the house. Then he gave me some sweets. Very happy. I had to pretend him very happy. Then I had a cup of tea, etc. Then he said, you want to say hello to my daughter-in-law? I've already done my homework of this. I knew that he has no daughter-in-law, his son is a student overseas. So I said, you want daughter-in-law? He said, yes. I said, yeah. But I did not know what you are talking about, daughter-in-law, because his bachcha also school, college में पढ़ते बाहर. Then he called Maya. So we were sitting in the drawing room, and there are bedrooms surrounding the thing like a door. Then I found one door was like somebody trying to open the door, and then I found one big cat coming out of the room and jumping onto his lap. The cat is a sheep, and her name is Maya. So actually that cat was, when he was a kitten small, it got stuck in the lift in the university where his son was studying. And that fellow rescued him and brought to India. So that's why the cat is there. And the journalist in me knew that this is his softest spot. And incidentally, I am also a cat lover. So I started cuddling the cat and all. And then I found out, I did not see all the four walls of the photograph. That's the beginning of it. Then what was my invitation to have some sweets? It extended to another cup of coffee, then dinner. And for the first time I found that the cat also eating dinner from on the dining table. There's a different take on that, but this is. And after that, all barriers removed, everything. I was just a phone call away, he was just a phone call away, and I started getting all the stories what was happening. And of course, going to his house and cuddling the cat. So the cat was his weakness. So, and the moment he was convinced that this fellow is a cat lover, then all that thing, nothing, there's no thing, everything. So that's all about, it's a psychology. You have to nurture, it's like planting, it's like watering a plant and, seeing the plant grow. The relationship is like that. But the different, it just, different switch has different lights. So he's using his cat, somebody else could be something else, somebody may be a cactus lover, then you have to study cactus and talk about cactus and engage him in conversation. Coming back to Chandra Kochar, some bankers think that bigger than, when personality becomes bigger than the institution. So Chandra Kochar was one such thing. I don't want to repeat all what happened and all, but one particular thing I like this thing. She was like an empress, like BKC, those who are familiar with Mumbai, that BKC is the new business district, not even point anymore. So BKC, ICICI Bank is one of the institutions which had its headquarters built in BKC ahead of others. So when Chandra Kochar will be coming in universities in the BKC, there will be at multiple point people are just on the walkie-talkie, madam is coming, and then once she was about to enter, everything will be clean. There's nobody on her way to stop her and all. She will come and all, and then even the lift, nobody should be there around it and all. So everybody was moving away around. Madam is coming, and then she will put the lift on, and then she will go and she will get into her office. Now that's not the case. I mean, there are even RBI governor we found that carrying his own bag and moving along like that. But she's a very different person. And what you call in hubris, I think is a big word. So that's the actually leads to your fall also. When you become too big for your boots, when you become bigger than the institution. So it's only one trait of her. That's why I'm saying that. As if she was some Prime Minister or President of India, something like that, and everybody else is like nobody. So that's the one piece.
Very interesting, sir. Anybody here student of English literature? Sir ने बहुत सारे नाम बताए भी. Anybody has read these Shakespeare and Awesome. आपका नाम सर?
सुदेश.
सुवीश.
सुदेश.
सुधीश. चलिए, बहुत अच्छा. So now that the cat is out of the bag, sir, we'll proceed to some more things. And जो आपने चंदा कोचर के लिए बोला, तो maybe I can compare it to Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships. अगर आपने Greek literature पढ़ा है, Greek history पढ़ी है, तो Helen of Troy was a very very beautiful lady. And कहते हैं कि उसके face देख के led to a lot of bloodshed. And एक और रैंडम पेज खोलता हूँ मैं, मतलब दिस इज नॉट अ प्रिपेयर्ड स्क्रिप्ट, जरा समझिए, ये मैं रैंडम पेजेस खोल रहा हूँ. इट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग एंड यंगस्टर्स वुड रिलेट टू दिस. आ जाओ. अब इतने साल का एक्सपीरियंस है सर का, तो डेफिनेटली इट्स नॉट बीन अ स्मूथ रोड. हर मोड़ पे ऑब्स्टिकल्स आते हैं, जैसे अभी बोले बाहर खड़े होते बैठे रहते तो भी. तो ये प्रॉब्लम्स जब आते हैं, एंड सुंदर मैं कोट पढ़ रहा हूँ यहाँ पे, डोंट ब्रूड ओवर प्रॉब्लम्स, लेट्स सॉल्व देम. बहुत सुंदर स्टेटमेंट लगा मुझे. देयर विल बी प्रॉब्लम्स बट वी विल फाइंड सॉल्यूशंस एंड मूव अहेड. नाउ डू वी अग्री विद दिस स्टेटमेंट और डू वी नॉट अग्री? So many times हम लोग we just focus on the problem and not on the solution. So are we part of the solution or are we part of the problem? And how do we solve it?
No, this is a very, very philosophical question. Probably are you part of the problem or the solution? But but I'm just giving you one example how to solve the problem. I mean, and this is a real life story. Again, from their life, and I'm giving a not very esoteric subject. It's a real life issue. So this is about the gentleman who succeeded Chanda Kochar in ICICI, and Sandeep Bakshi. Now, Sandeep Bakshi was earlier, before running the bank, he was the CEO of the insurance company. Now, in real life story, I heard that in the one day, when Sandeep was the CEO of this insurance company, late evening, maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock, it was raining heavily. Mumbai rain, all of you are aware of this, how it's a very terrible rain. So he came down, he was about to leave. He found that one very senior guy in the basement where the car parked there is loitering in a very, very tense way. So he asked this gentleman, he was his compliance head. He said, what are you doing here? Aren't you going home? And this fellow said, there's a problem. He said, what is the problem? He said, this fellow has a phobia for driving. There's an English word for it, I'm forgetting it. You are not very comfortable. He knows how to drive, but so how he typically, he comes with somebody else, in his neighborhood somebody else is there. That fellow will be sitting by his side and he will drive down to office. That evening what happened, the gentleman who usually used to accompany him is not there, he has gone out for a meeting and he does not know how to go home, how to drive his car. Then Sandeep told him, Sandeep Bakshi, this, look, don't think about going home, don't think about the destiny, think about only the next 100 meters. Just see the traffic light, whether it's green, red or yellow. See the turn. So if we just cut this 11 kilometer into multiply of 100 meters. It's not the destination, it's the journey. It's a very philosophical way of saying at things. And that's how. So this fellow, his compliance said, got into the car, he started, Sandeep said bye. And then after an hour or so, he called, have you reached? This fellow actually reached. And the story was narrated to me by that person, and then later Sandeep also told me the same thing. He said, now I drive down to Pune, I drive down to Goa, everything. But that lesson one evening, and it's philosophically, it's not the journey, it's not the destination, but the journey. So this is one simple example of this. How do you solve this out?
Very beautifully said, sir. It is not the destination. Life is not about going from point A to point B. एक किसी ने कहा था कि which is the best journey and which is the best destination. तो किसी ने बहुत सुंदर कहा कि the best destination is when I am with my friends. तो वही जगह जा सकते हैं हम और वही पेंच या ताड़ोगा और हम एक अनजान लोगों के साथ या अनकंफर्टेबल लोगों के साथ जाते हैं, वही टाइगर दिखता है, वही सब चीज दिखती है, बट वी डोंट एंजॉय इट. इट इज द सेम फूड वी हैव इन अशोका और यामाजाकी और वेरेवर, बट व्हेन वी आर फ्रेंड्स, व्हेन वी आर विद फ्रेंड्स, तो वही फूड टेस्टी हो जाता है. सो इट इज ऑलवेज अबाउट द जर्नी, नॉट अबाउट द डेस्टिनेशन. वेरी ब्यूटिफुली सेड सर. एंड ये बड़े ही इंटरेस्टिंग पर्सनालिटी मुझे लगे. मैं कल इनसे पहली बार मिला तो इन्होंने बहुत सारी अलग अलग चीज़ें की है. ही इज डन प्लेज, ही इज डन एजुकेशन, ही राइट्स पोएम्स इन बंगाली. आई बिलीव अ बुक हैज बीन पब्लिश्ड सर, बंगाली पोएम्स, एंड ही वाज द कल्चरल चैंपियन ऑफ हिज कॉलेज, एंड हिज रीडिंग हैज इंक्लूडेड ऑल इंग्लिश क्लासिक्स, जैसे उन्होंने बताया, ऑस्कर वाइल्ड, थॉमस हार्डी, शेक्सपियर. So how does this all match into ये कोई जिक्सॉ पजल है जो एक कंप्लीट पर्सोना बनाता है आदमी को? या आप यहाँ जो बैठे यंगस्टर्स हैं उनको क्या बोलेंगे कि how do you develop as an individual and how does all this contribute to what is
very philosophical question. I don't know the answer, but I just to if the youngsters thing, I believe the two things it's very important. One is this: most often I found that what we study in school, college, university, or this, and what do we do in the professional life? There is no connection between the two. I have seen in many people in my own life also. So I think actually the real learning starts the classroom, that is outside the classroom, not within the classroom. I have seen people with excellent academic background and people with excellent, meaning not only the courses, even for the greatest of all universities coming and all, but I found them no, they are lacking something and all when they get into the profession and all. So I think one thing is very important is this, to keep our eyes and ears open and to accept the fact that the real classroom is outside the classroom. So there we need to learn and everything, like whatever I have done is this, I have not what I learned from in school and college and university, not even 5% is helping me what I do now. So everything I have learned from outside. Yes. That's one part of it. And second part of it is this, I think we must do what we excel. So once we get into the professional life, I have seen very many people and all. If you do work for only money, then every morning we get up and say, oh God, again I have to see my boss, I have to go to office and all. It's only the 4-5 days a month, last 3 days, because the paycheck will hit or the money will be transferred into your account in first couple of days. Those 4-5 days, at best 1 week you are happy looking at the money, but the rest 3 weeks you are extremely unhappy because you don't like your job. But if you do the other way, you do what you want to do and you excel, then money will follow, money will chase. So if you ask me, these are the two things, the two main things. One is I must, and the third most important part, this is again I say, let me, if you allow me, I'll take a story from Greek literature. You have heard of this gentleman called Plato, right? So apparently, it's an anecdotal story. Apparently the king of Macedonia told Plato that Plato, who's the wisest person in the world? Plato says, sir, I don't know, Maharaj, what about? Then he said, aren't you, isn't that you? Plato said, I don't know. He said, can you find out who's the wisest person in the world? Plato said, I will. Then Plato says, you have to give me time. Because I need to travel, and I need to go to the place, and I need to interact with all the wise people in the world, then I can tell you. King gave him 2 years time, 2 years or 1 year, whatever it is. So Plato, all over the world, he traveled, he met a lot of people, etc. He came back to that. And he came back alone. King told him that you bring the wisest person in the world, he will be in my court. He came back and the king said to Plato, what happened with this? Plato was like quiet. He said, tell me, who's the wisest person in the world? Plato says, oh sir, whatever, king, you are right, I am the wisest person in the world. So king got very livid. How dare you? I spent so much of time, I waited for so long, I spent so much of money for your world tour, etc. And you are claiming that you are the wisest person of the world? Tell me why you are saying this. Plato says, Maharaj, whatever the king or the king, I have met so many people, but each of them, they claim that they know everything. Compared to me, in contrast, I always know and I admit that I don't know everything. I need to know more. So that makes me different from others. And that is why I am wiser than them. I am the wisest person. So I think it's a great philosophy. The moment we think that I know everything, that's the end of the day. So which is why again extending the same analogy of classroom. Actually, we remain a student throughout our life. Because things change so fast. Like particularly in banking and finance and economy. If you are a historian, probably you can relax. But in the banking and finance and economy, you have to run like not a marathon, like a sprint to be there where you are. So the moment you think that you know everything, that's the end of it. And that's true for everything. So I think, I've not been able to answer your question, you said that all. But the fact is this, I am a student, I am 60 plus, early 60s and all. But I am a student, I spend again every 6-7 weeks when that FOMC meeting in US happened, my wife knows that night I am awake till the time FOMC announcement is done and everything is done till 3 or 4 a.m. with the dog at my leg on my thing, I am awake. And I keep on reading things, I keep on traveling and all. Because there is a student in me and I am not embarrassed to admit that I don't know. I am not a Plato, I am not the wisest person at all. But the fact of the matter is this, that there are so many things to learn. And so if you keep your ears and even open mind, and if you remain in spirit a student, I think then you can enjoy life.
So beautifully said, sir. Remain a student always. स्टूडेंट्स जो भी हैं उनसे मैं भी कहूँगा कि आप लर्निंग के पीछे भागें. लर्निंग अगर अच्छी होगी तो एल निकल जाएगा कभी और अर्निंग अपने आप आ जाएगी. तो इट्स
that I'm just saying wherever you are, like you will find a maid servant who बर्तन घिसके सिल्वर जैसे करा देंगे, because that lady takes pride in her work. Or you find a cook, they're not earning much, etc. But they are doing what they love and they take pride in their work. And some maid servant you will find that still there is so many dust, so much of dust, so many things or nothing, she doesn't care, she'll run away. But some of them are there that they will clean it, absolutely speak and plan. They will do the bartan ghiso, absolutely speak and plan. Because they take pride in what they do. Probably they can instead of working in 4 households, they are working in 3 households. But they are happy what they are doing and they build their reputation. So key thing is this, we must love what we are doing.
Very beautifully said, sir. It's now 5:40 now, so any questions you may have from this time?
सर आपने जैसे बुक्स लिखे हुए हैं, I also read this, I haven't read the, sorry, discover कि एक भी स्कैम आई है जिसमें संजय सिंह वहाँ पर वो एक टाइम पर लिखते हैं कि हाउ डिफिकल्ट इट इज किसी स्टोरी को अनकवर करना एंड आप हमेशा एक डर में जीते हैं बिकॉज यू नो जिनकी स्टोरी आप अनकवर कर रहे हैं वो बहुत पावरफुल लोग हैं तो हाउ यू डेल विद दैट एंड माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज यू सेड कि आपने बैंकर्स की साइकोलॉजी को समझने की कोशिश की ये कौन लोग हैं I entered banking industry in 2011 and 2012 I'm PSU 2012 से अभी तक के हम लोगों ने बहुत चेंजेस देखी हैं चीजें ड्रास्टिकली चेंज हुई लाइक यू सेड we are running a sprint so what changes have you seen किस तरीके से banking industry
quickly just saying this expose it's a very difficult task it's when you're talking about the tough stories exposing them it's a very difficult task so you need to be thorough you need to build your contact it's a very there's no one point of that as I said Sahara filed a case against me there's a police picket outside my house for 8 months because I was told that I should not go out at night alone. I was told that I should not drive on the highway alone, so on and so forth. And after this, even after when happened is this, after the out of court settlement happened, for the discussions what happened at Sahara Hotel, it was too much. It was nerve-breaking. So it's very difficult for a person to hold on to yourself and all. So you need real guts. That happened 10 years back, 2014 and all. So a lot of people thought that I am crazy for fame, why I am doing that and all kind of stuff. But I thought, look, I am doing what is right, so what is it? And I could defend myself. So it's very difficult work to do and you need a lot of courage to do that. But people do that. That's why all about life is worth living. Everybody, you can't be a coward on everything. You know, we have to stand sometimes, stand for a cause, sometimes stand for your principles, stand for truth, whatever. Looking back, I think that was that. I was not very sure what I was doing at that point of time. I was sort of under a trance that why should I give up? I don't know. Because the other side thought that I'll be cowed down, I'll be so scared, I'll give up. I said no, nothing. As far as banking change is concerned, there's a huge change for the past 12 years, particularly in the public sector banking industry, because as you know, when Raghuram Rajan came as RBI governor, he found that a lot of things were there. Bankers were evergreening their balance sheet, they were not true to what they're doing, their risk management, their underwriting capability, everything was bad. At that point of time, RBI introduced something which is unprecedented, nowhere in the world happened, AQR, asset quality review. What does it mean? That I don't trust what you are saying, I don't trust you, I don't trust your auditors, my guys will see, get into your kitchen and get into your bedroom and understand what will happen and not. So all the banks were forced to come up clean. And then there were all the investigative agencies also, they started harassing the bankers and all. So certain things were good, certain things were not so good. But that has actually led to a metamorphosis of the banking industry. I'm talking about the public sector bankers. So their risk management, their credit underwriting, everything is far better now. And of course, the environment also changed. There were a lot of interference from different sides, different corners, and all that has also stopped and all. And they are they know, and then also happened the consolidation within the public sector banking. So all put together now, the banking system is pretty fine. There are certain cracks at this point of time about the unsecured loan, etc. But we are into a new cycle, and there is a banking system which does not have the hard mentality. Earlier, what was doing that? Say State Bank of India is doing something, a very small bank which is probably 1/50th of State Bank of India, they also will do something. Because you are doing, I also need to do. But your ability to stomach risk is very different from State Bank of India. They did not understand that. So now those things have gone away. It's better credit underwriting, better risk management, better appreciation of things, and things even will get far better as we move forward.
Can you please comment on the title of your book, Roller Coaster?
This is the last question because time is. So we'll make it brief now because the next speaker will be waiting outside, sir, please.
Then I couldn't get your question. What is the
If you
title?
could comment on the title of the book.
The roller coaster is just up and down, you know.
Is it any,
Huh?
does it have any relation with the characters you portray?
Yeah, of course. No, their life is a roller coaster. No, it's about their life. An affair with banking, this is my affair. And the roller coaster is their lives, how it goes up and goes down and all. So it's I just, if you allow me one fun story that I will tell. So again, you know, there are, not everything is bad or everything is good. Like here we are talking about one particular banker. So one day he invited me for lunch. For lunch there is one executive lunch room, we need to go there. So I was told that you go there, you can sit anywhere you want, but not the chair on which a white towel is fixed. It's put there. So fine. I thought it's a marker for that. This thing. Those days, banks did not have MD, they had the chairman. You know that sometime. So then I moved in, and this gentleman came. Since I'm a Bengali, he also organized some sweets, etc. outside the bank kitchen. No? There are mutton, there are chicken, all sorts of fish and all, but there are some sweets also. No? Then I found that one gentleman came from the kitchen side and all. He picked up the towel, and this man, he had the habit of eating green chilies. So he was eating green chilies, and he was bald-headed. So he was profusely sweating, and one gentleman was standing behind the chair, using the white towel and wiping out. and
सर मेरा इसमें मिला क्या आपको?
and with lot pride, this man said, Tamal, mark this, I don't allow this boy to do any other work. So imagine, one gentleman who was earning whatever X amount of money on the payroll of the bank, his job is to wiping out the sweat from his boss when he is eating green chili and with his lunch and sweating with this thing. So there are characters, and he takes a lot of pride in it.
By any chance you carry impression from Chaucer's Prologue?
Sorry?
This conversation we can keep on going, and Samantha will be here in the lounge, in the premises, so we can continue this conversation. It's been a fun event, and thank you so much.
Thank you.